Shut up and sit down.
Alrighty, up this rocky bit. Alright, we're out for a ride today with my brother on his CBX or CB500X, if I'm right. So we'll just ease up ahead. So off for a bit of a good run today. Probably 300 k's, maybe a bit more. It's mostly easy riding, but today is really just about. I'm going to do a bit of a review on his 500. If he lets me ride it, then I've got to trust him to ride the Soul Girl. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a talk about what the CB500X is like. I always got to remember to clean the lens, alright? I don't know if it's just that foggy, or yeah, it is that foggy. My goggles are fogging up, but it is foggy as well. So we'll pop past him. Yeah, a bit of a rain here, a bit of water, sorry. And we just pop past him. The CB. So I'm on the CB. Give this a little bit of a ride, see what this is like. Straight away it's nice and comfy, absolutely beautiful, comfortable. So I feel nice at home on it straight away. So the things that hurt these a lot is naturally the suspension. They've gone to, when did they go to the 17-inch front inch? It might have been, what, 16, did they? Sorry, 19, sorry, yeah, so 19 front wheel, so this still got the 17 on it. But like this now, it's very, very nice, very smooth, very comfortable. You just can't hit the big holes on it, that's all. What I'm doing, 60. So there's probably... I can really see why lots of people do, you know, put the better suspension on them and, what is it, the rally raid kits on them. So yeah, it's so naturally it's not a dirt bike. So the standing up on it is not comfortable for me. It's the handlebars are way down too low for me. I'm not a fan of risers and bar white risers, but these are already up there already. So, but my brother's a lot shorter than me. Yeah, he's having fun on the bike with all the suspension travel. And I can go faster, but I don't want to damage his bike either. So I'm in 4th gear now. What's it doing? 3.5, so that's fine. So you can just mosey along like this, see? So we'll give it a bit of a squirt. I'd have to say the suspension so far, I haven't hit anything hard on it, you know what I mean, but it's still, you know, it's got its little washouts, as you can see, little rallies and little ruts and all sorts of stuff. It's actually quite good. So I think the power, my brother thinks it's underpowered. They're not underpowered, okay? They're not powerful, but they're not underpowerful. That's in 4th gear. You know, sure you can wind it on and, you know, it's not going to break traction, but still, it still goes forward. I'm quite impressed with the suspension, actually. You can tell, now I'll ask you what he's done to the front. He has got these inserts, and he also bought a rear shock for it, which we'll talk about later on, which is an SS shock. You can tell the shock at the rear is a lot better than the front, so the front's actually let that down just a little bit. Big difference. So you just got to be mindful of this bike. It's what it is, but it feels balanced. You know, it doesn't feel weird in a way where, you know, like really top heavy or back end's doing something funny. It feels really balanced. And this is my first ride on this bike. I've ridden it, I probably rode it for about 100 metres on the road because he thought there was something wrong with suspension before he got the work done. That was it, but this is my first ride, real ride, and especially off-road on it. I have to say I like it, I really do. This had decent suspension on it, a lot better than what it was. Very good. Actually, I actually quite enjoy riding this. So we're just standing now to get a bit of a feel. Gripping the bike with my knees. I can see you can do lots of Ks on it. Very comfortable. That seat's nice compared to the 690. Compared to the 690, it's very comfortable. I don't think my brother realised that you can actually get along this a lot better than what he thinks it can. So the motor is, it's a linear type motor. You know, there's no sort of hard hit. It's not going to pull your arms out of the socket. But there's enough power there. You know, that's what I find anyway. So, but the power is it's just nice and smooth. Very nice and smooth. You know, the brakes are okay. Be good to see what it's like actually on the road sitting on 100. I think it's I reckon you could fall asleep on it. Is that nice? You just got to be careful with the big ones, the big holes. You know, so I'm not really riding it fast, but this is about as fast as I think you would carefully want to do on this bike without you know, you don't want to damage anything. Yep. Now this thing is, I won't tell you, I don't really know how much he spent on it, how much he paid for it. I know it was a budget bike, so I mean, what he spent on this, it's still a bargain. You know, still a bargain. I think I think he might have ABS on the rear. I'm not sure if it's got it on the front. in all honesty, you wouldn't want to come too much faster through here anyway. The old kangaroo, that's what I'm more worried about. We had a lot of rain here again, and we had a lot of rain last night. So there's certain sections where it's the clay, and the bike is moving around a fair bit actually. So it's taking me time. You can see it here. You see the different colour. All right, so that's what I mean. So there's a bit of a noise at the front. I don't know if the camera sound can pick that up. See, that pulls you forward. Okay, sure, it's not bloody spinning up the wheel, but that's, if you're spinning, you're going nowhere. It's all about the power to the ground. And that's what this is doing. So alright, so we'll turn this camera off now. And we'll catch up later, guys. Then we have a bit of a walk around and tell you what he's done to this this budget adventure bike. And I don't mean budget being cheap, as in the bike's cheap and rubbish. It's just cost effective in what he's paid for it and what he gets out of it, you know. So we'll catch up then. So was it 2013 CBX? Oh, sorry, CB500X, isn't it? Yeah. That's what it is. Alrighty. So there's a lot of modifications to this, I'd have to say old girl, because it's yeah, it's no spring chicken, is it? So the muffler was on it, that little muffler. You've got the little baffle back in it again, so it's got the little muffler. It's got the wider foot pegs on it, which helps a little bit better, especially when you stand. It's not a bike naturally you stand on it. It doesn't feel natural when you stand, not for me anyway. I need bar rises a bit higher. And what about the owner? You stand on it not too bad to reach down to the bars?
It could be higher.
Yeah, it could be higher. I found it off-road, back in the fire road where I was riding. I was totally enjoying it. I thought it was good, to within its limits, as long as you don't go smashing into anything. It was really good. But what's the big difference to it is the front forks. They've got new inserts in them, so what are they? Tell me.
New YSS fork valves and springs and 15 weight oil. 15 weight,
so the YSS inserts with heavier springs and 15 watt oil, weight oil. Okay then. What I found when I rode it is that the rear shock, we'll talk about in a second, is better than what the front fork is. You can feel the difference in the quality. And the rear shock is also from YSS. Yep. Yeah. And that's it.
Just their bottom range.
No, it wasn't their bottom, was it? No, it wasn't their bottom one.
Yeah.
No, okay.
It just hasn't got any adjustment other than I think it's got a clicker.
For preload. It's got preload on and rebound, I think, hasn't it? Yeah, so yeah, that's what it's got. So it's just got rebound, and it's, naturally it's got your preload where you wind it up and down, okay? But I can vouch for the rear shock for this one. And how much was it, do you want to say?
About 500.
No, it was more than that.
600? About 600.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that. But yeah, quality-wise, a lot better than what the standard one was. I noticed it when I was riding it in my little stint in the on the dirt. I found it really good, actually. So that has improved the standard suspension over the standard suspension out of date, doesn't it? It's a big difference. Yeah. For what it is, can I say it's probably under? We won't say how much, but it's probably under $6,000 you would have spent.
Yeah, easy.
So it's under $6,000, easily under that. So the bike, all the little mods that he's done to it. So the front fork inserts, YSS front forks, and the rear shock as well, which is, I recommend you do to any bike. You always get that sorted first. It's got the crash bars on it. What are they, mate? Jivy crash bars.
They were on it.
Yeah, which I think they're a good quality bar. Find out about it. So it's got the crash bars on it, which are nice tucked away. RG protectors, which you need, and that sort of stuff. Now the bash plate was on it as well. But what we did find, where he went for a ride was back in 2020, which I do have a video of that. Is that we did go off a pretty gnarly off track, didn't we, downhill, and it was actually a bit of a rock ledge, and didn't know it at the time, but he actually did bottom it out, and it actually broke the bash plate a little bit. Okay, but it just shows you where you can take the bike sometimes. But it's, I think when I read right, it was only about, they're only got about 170 mils of clearance there, so that's why they do hit the deck quite easily. So it's got the bash plate on it. It's got the little muffler on it as well. Is that? Oh, so the pipe here as well. That's all part of it as well. So that's been changed. It's got the little rear racks on it. Did you put them on?
Yeah, Rally Raid.
Yeah, so they're from Rally Raid. He runs the Modol's GPX, is it? I think they are. Yeah, so the GPS tyres, which I also was running those on my KTM. I found them pretty good. You might have a little bit of trouble in the muddy conditions, this part here, because there's no sort of cutaway at all, but they'll last and last and last on this bike. They weigh 196, they say, fully wet, the specs. We did weigh it out, my place there, a little while ago, for the gear on it, and it was still under 200 kgs. So, it'd be great if the Tenere was like that, fully fueled, under 200 kilos. So what? Yeah, you got the little footprint on the side stand.
Preload adjusters on the...
Oh yeah, so that's the little preloaders for the spring, for your preload. But they've got no other adjustability, do they?
No.
Just a preload.
Yeah.
Okay. But I only rode this myself standard on the road, and it was only a quick trip on the road, like I said before, maybe about 200 metres up and back. And I thought the front end was, yeah, it was pretty, wasn't all that good, because there's a little bit of a bumpy section, a little bit of a wallow in the road, and I could feel the front end straight away. So chalk and cheese. Money well spent, don't you think?
Yeah, you have to do it.
And one of the biggest things, I know, is these front little, what you call these driving lights.
Yeah.
But there are eBay specials, weren't they?
Yeah.
What were they, cost-wise?
I think about $40.
$40, and I can tell you, they are bright. I had to tell him to pull them down a little bit because they're a bit too high, and he got flashed a couple of times. They thought he had these high beam on, but they'll be very good at night time, I can tell you, for $40.
You need them because that standard headlight's rubbish.
Yeah. I don't know what my Tenere's like on that. He's got the other mirrors on it. He's put them on it. They're just eBay specials, same as what I've got on the KTM as well.
Headlight protector.
Headlight protector. I don't know how much they are to replace the general headlight. I know the Tenere's over $1,000.
TC80.
Oh right, so that's not okay. So that's not the Modols, is it?
No.
So TC80.
Yeah.
Continental, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Continental. So you can see a chunky tyre there. And yeah, they're only a 17-inch as well, and cast. So you've got to be very gentle on these things. You don't want to hit anything too hard because I don't know how well they'd hold up on some big impact at all. So that's a bit it. Just a quick talk about the CB. You can see what you can spend like under $6,000, and he's out and about doing basically what I'm doing. You've got to maybe go a bit slower in certain areas, but now he's enjoying the road ride, and on my old girl in the seat, I can't say I'm enjoying the road ride. So I'm going to try to swap over rides. No, he's shaking his head no. Alright, we'll catch up later. See yous.